There are so many people whose dream and vision is to start poultry farming. But the moment they visit different farms before they start and they see the expensive structures, they hear stories of chicken dying, they realize how big the investment can be, they immediately get overwhelmed and they lose interest at the same time. In today's video, I'm here to break down your vision into simple, manageable steps. Even if you're completely green about poultry farming, this video is going to be such a nice guide for you to start small, to learn gradually, and to grow with confidence. Hi my farm family, I welcome you back to the channel. If you're seeing me for the very first time, my name is Flavia. I'm a poultry farmer who is very passionate about sharing my poultry farming journey. So if your dream is starting a poultry farm, please stick around, enjoy the video. There is a lot to learn. I'm going to be sharing the steps you can take to start a poultry farm.
Morning comes too early, hands already warm, working for a better day, trying to keep me warm. Boss man count his tally, we just count our turn. Fair don't come easy, I had to stand and fight for.
So step number one, you're going to decide on the type of birds. You want to keep. This is a very hard decision, but you'll have to decide, because when you're only starting, you cannot keep all these different type of birds on the farm. It's going to be very overwhelming. So you're going to decide. We have broilers, then we have layers, and we have sasso. I'm mentioning birds that I know make economic sense, like if you're to keep them. Broilers, these are for meat. Layers are for eggs. These are usually dual purpose. They grow slower, but customers love them because they provide both. They provide the meat and the eggs. So with broilers, you're thinking short term, like you're investing your money, but just after like a month and a half, you're going to sell them off and collect your money back. With broilers, it's meat and it's short term. So you're going to be keeping them on the farm for a very short time, and after you get back your money. And with layers, you're thinking long term. With layers, you're thinking long term, because they're going to give you eggs for a period of like 2 years, and later you'll have to sell them off. These are quite capital intensive because you're going to invest in them for a period of almost 5 months when you're not earning. But when they start laying, you'll get back that money, and you later also off-lay them and get back that money as well. So with these, you have to be quite patient. And with these short term, sasso, I know they grow slower, but they provide both. I don't know more about sasso because I've not kept them on the farm, but I know you will have to decide on the type of birds you want to keep. Also the markets. What is your target? What's your target market? Do you want to sell eggs or you're targeting meat? So you're going to first make this decision and be very clear about it. Be very clear about it. Be very determined to keep those. Don't be confused on what to keep. First, make the decision on what you're going to keep. So step number two is learn poultry farming basics. Poultry farming basics. Poultry farming looks quite easy on the outside, but trust me, it's not easy. So before you invest that much money into the project, I would ask that the next step you're going to take after deciding the type of birds you're going to keep, invest in knowledge. You should learn more about brooding, feeding, vaccinations, disease control, your markets. Your market, are you going to sell eggs or you're going to sell the meat? Learn more about your market. So have the basic knowledge about it. There are very many videos on YouTube that will provide you the knowledge. Then you attend poultry farming seminars. You can also visit different farmers. There are very many who are actually very much willing to share that knowledge. So visit different farmers and get the knowledge about poultry farming. Before you invest that much amount of money, first invest in the knowledge. That's the next step. So step number 3. Step 3 is going to be for you to start small. That's the next step. It's very normal to be inspired by people who have very many birds, people who have 10,000 birds, 20,000 birds. But if you're only starting, please start with a number you can comfortably manage. In poultry farming, if you don't have the experience, trust me, management beats numbers any day, anytime. So first leave the numbers to people who are experienced. Then you, who hasn't yet had the experience, first start small with the number you can comfortably manage. You're going to gain the hands-on experience. You're going to learn more about hygiene. You're going to learn about management. It's quite easy to learn more about management with a smaller number. So start with a number you can comfortably manage. Don't rush into getting bigger numbers. Don't rush into bigger risks before you get the experience. So start small, gain the hands-on experience. Starting small might look subjective. My kind of small might be 500 when your small is 2,000 birds. But I would tell you, okay, for layers, what makes economic sense? I would say if you're only starting, start with at least 500 birds. 500 birds if you can. At the higher end, start with 1,000 birds. Because if you start with well lesser than 500 and you start with, let me say, 100 birds or 200, the scaling is going to be quite hard. Like going up to the number you really want when you started with 100 is going to be quite hard for you. So start, and also 500 makes economic sense. Like with 100, it doesn't really make economic sense when you start that's very, very small. But 500 is a very good number. With broilers, I don't know, and Saso, but start small. That's my point. Then step number 4. Step number 4. You've decided to start small. You already have the knowledge, the basic knowledge. You've decided on the type of birds. Step number 4 is for you to build a simple structure. When you visit bigger farms, you're going to get quite overwhelmed. You're going to think it's very impossible to start a poultry farm. But you've already decided to start small. What birds need? They need ventilation. They need protection from rain, from natural hazards. So build a simple structure. It doesn't have to be expensive. Don't focus on beauty. First focus on functionality. Then we shall focus on the beauty as we grow bigger, as the farm expands. For a start, build a simple structure. What birds need is ventilation. They need protection from rain. They don't need heat stress. Because when the heat is so much in the house, it stresses them and they don't produce well. Like they don't lay very well. Even the broilers, they don't achieve the required weight if they're in a house that gives them the heat stress. So build a simple structure. Your focus has to be protection from rain, natural hazards, and very good ventilation. Now, step number 4. No, this is step number 5. Day-old chicks. Day-old chicks. Now, when buying your day-old chicks, this is not a decision you should take lightly. We have very many suppliers who sell poor quality chicks, and you're only starting. If you're going to get poor quality chicks, they're going to disturb you a lot. They're going to be falling very sick often. They're not going to grow very well. So buy from trusted suppliers, trusted, reputable suppliers. Your focus shouldn't be getting cheaper birds. You're only starting. You should be, if you're only starting, please get good quality birds. Birds that will give you good results if you manage them very well. Find out reputable suppliers in your area or in your region, or visit those farmers that inspire you. Or if you're in farmer groups, you will know reputable suppliers. You will know them. They have very good breeds. So buy. The next step will be for you to buy day-old chicks. Let me wrap this off. I hope you've been noting down. Step number 6. The next step is going to be for you to ensure proper feeding. Proper feeding. Because if you don't feed the birds well, for broilers, they will not achieve the required weight at that particular stage. So you're supposed to ensure that you feed them well. And for the layers, they will not lay at the right stage if you're not feeding them well. They will grow very poorly. They may even never lay. So you have to know which type of feed are you feeding them. We have the chick, for layers we have the chick mash, growers mash, and lastly the layers mash. So you're supposed to ensure you have the right feed for each stage. You're supposed to be having the right feed for each stage. Good feed means proper growth, strong immunity, and better egg production. So ensure proper feeding. Ensure that you're feeding your birds the right feed they're supposed to eat at every stage that they are at. Don't feed your birds poor quality feeds on grounds of saving, because you're not going to see results, and at the end of the day you'll say poultry farming is not profitable because you've not fed your birds the right type of feed. Now step number 7. Step number 7. With feeding, please ensure that you also have clean water on the farm. Clean water on the farm. Step number 7. Step number 7 is going to be keeping your records. Keeping records. When you keep records, you're going to be able to know if you're making profits or losses. With keeping records, you're going to be able to note down your mortalities. The mortalities, the production, vaccination. Literally, when you keep your records, you're going to be able to track your farm performance. Keeping records will also help you scale better in the next cycles. So that's the next step. The 7th step, you have to ensure that you're keeping your records. Then step number 8, is going to be marketing. So how are you going to, if you decided broilers, you're supposed to make sure that the moment you bring birds on the farm, the moment they turn 1 week, you already have a market where you're going to sell your broilers. Because broilers, the more they stay on the farm, when they're supposed to leave the farm, like maybe beyond, is it 7 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks? Those are the more losses you're going to encounter. So you're supposed to make sure you have readily available market for the broilers. Then for the layers, the eggs, you're supposed to also decide how are you going to market your eggs. Are you going to retail them, or are you going to wholesale them? How are you going to sell them? Are you going to move door to door, or social media? So you're going to decide on how you're going to do your marketing. Personally, I'm one of those farmers who opens my cupboards every Sunday after church. Personally, I'm one of those farmers who does both. I retail my eggs and I also wholesale them. I'm one of those farmers who opens my cupboards every Sunday after church to sell my eggs. So you're going to decide on how to do the marketing. You need to have clarity about the marketing route you're going to follow. For organization, for the farm to be organized, to know how you're selling your products. And the next step is going to be your business plan. Once you're already in production, you're keeping your records, you're marketing your eggs, you're ensuring proper feeding. You need to have a business plan. A business plan is going to help you with the scaling, first of all. For example, in layers, if you started small, you started with 500 birds, and you're doing all this, you're ensuring the proper feeding, you're keeping records, you're marketing. When you have a business plan, it's going to help you with the scaling. Scaling, I mean, you started with 500 birds. When do you plan on expanding the farm, or adding more numbers, or bringing the next batch before you offlay? So, and this business plan should be like a roadmap for your farm, because it's going to help you set clear goals. It's going to help you set clear goals and direction for the farm. So as you can see, poultry farming does not happen all at once. You don't need to start with thousands of birds, millions of money, or expensive structures. What you need at first is the determination, starting with the right information, and also being willing to learn as you grow. So many successful farmers that we all admire today were also once beginners. They made very horrible mistakes, losses, but they learned from them, improved their management, and they are now successful. So don't let the fear, the pressure, and you comparing yourself to these bigger farms overwhelm you, and you later lose interest. Give your birds time, learn more, learn about the management, the vaccination schedules, the feeding. All this will improve you as a person. You'll grow out your own pace, and later the patience and consistency will turn into something bigger and profitable. Poultry farming is not just about making money, but it's also about building skills, creating opportunities, feeding families, all that. So if you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to like and to hit the subscribe button so we grow the channel. Thank you for watching. See you in another one. May the good Lord bless you. Bye-bye.